most comprehensive post-polls ahead of the big counting day. That's right, voting is almost over. 6 p.m. We expect voting to be over any time across India, and the two southern states of Kerala and Tamil Nadu that have voted today, and the Union Territory of Puducherry, bringing to an end this long drawn-out 2016 political battle. And now, in a short while, we will bring you the exit poll numbers, the results of the India Today Axis My India poll that will be coming out in a moment from now. The big headlines that we are looking for. Will Mamata Banerjee repeat her dramatic win of 2011, or can the Congress left combine stage a miracle in Bengal? In Tamil Nadu, can Jayalalitha make history by becoming the first chief minister since MGR to win back-to-back elections? Or will a 93-year-old Karunanidhi have one last comeback as the leader of the DMK? Is this the BJP's big breakthrough election in Assam, or will Tarun Gogoi become a four-time chief minister? We'll be looking at who wins the battle for Assam, who's ahead. In Kerala, will the left return to power in a revolving door state, or can Uman Chandi offer some hope of a Congress revival in the deep south? And also, Puducherry will even tell you what's likely to happen in the tiny Union Territory. That's right, the Election Commission guidelines tell us that we can show you the results in about 25 minutes from now, but let's take a look at the other headlines of the day. Even as the government talks tough on Vijay Mallya, India Today gets exclusive access to the liquor baron's mansion in Goa that's now been sealed and taken over by the State Bank of India. But his swanky cars are still parked there. The finance minister says he will be extradited. Another big arrest in the Gaya road rage case. Rocky's friend held by the police, but MLC mother Manorama Devi still absconding 150 hours after arrest warrant was issued. CBI probe likely into the murder of a journalist in Siwan. Chief Minister Nitish Kumar says he's open for a probe if that's what the victim's family wants. Shahabuddin, the RJD leader, in the eye of a storm.
अगर उनको भरोसा नहीं है और वे चाहेंगे कि सीबीआई की इंक्वायरी हो, तो हम लोग इस मामले को सीबीआई को सौंप देंगे.
The BJP also mulls a major shake-up in Gujarat. A key section of the party wants Anandi Ben Patel to be replaced as chief minister. She could go as governor of Haryana and Punjab, and Nitin Patel may be the man who may take over. Welcome back to our special exit poll, where we are trying to understand the trends that are likely to emerge when voting begins, when counting begins on the 19th. The exit polls can be put out half an hour after the last vote has been cast, which is officially 6 p.m., even though there are still some queues in Tamil Nadu even as we speak, people coming in to vote at the last minute. Our panel is going to look at all the big numbers. Let me introduce Pradeep Gupta of Axis My India, Axis APM. He's the one who's going to give us the numbers. Remember, Pradeep was the one who predicted Bihar and Delhi, right? The massive sweeps, even gave as many as 62 to Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, which was quite the outlier. Can he get a hat-trick? We'll wait and see. Sandeep Shastri, my old friend, Pro Vice Chancellor of Jain University, and someone who's tracked elections for years, is with us. He is part of Lokniti, the country's most foremost political research team. Dr. Surjit Bhalla, columnist, commentator, and someone who always likes to stick his neck out, is also a bit of an outlier when it comes to polls. Got Bihar right, dare I say. So he's hoping to repeat his success. Kishalay Bhattacharjee, author, columnist and journalist, joins us. Someone who's written books on Assam and has tracked the state extensively over the last decade and more. Manini Chatterjee, National Affairs Editor of The Telegraph, the newspaper that at times has been taking on Mamata Banerjee in Bengal, and someone who's tracked national politics now for several decades. Ashok Malik, senior journalist, and again someone who's been tracking politics for years now. We'll also be going to other guests who will be joining us, particularly on the states of Tamil Nadu and Kerala, experts who will tell us what's happening in those states. But I want to turn to Assam, which many believe is the critical state. In some ways, a small state, but in other ways, in this election, possibly the biggest state of them all, much at stake for the two major parties. The X factors in Assam. Will the BJP sweep Upper Assam and make dents in the Barak Valley? There's a feeling that this is the big election where the BJP can consolidate a Hindu vote in Assam. Will the BJP's alliance with the AGP and the Bodolands People Front in particular be a boon or a bane? Will these parties bring the BJP down or take it up? Will the Muslim vote in Lower Assam be divided between the Congress and the AIDUF? And will traditional Congress vote banks switch sides because of a 15-year anti-incumbency? These are some of the big questions that we are raising in the context of Assam. Is this the big breakthrough election? Is the question we want to raise in the context of Assam. I want to come to you, Kishore. You're our expert on Assam. You know more about a complex state and a state where no one really is being able to predict the exact numbers. What's your sense this time? What should we be looking at as we look at Assam in this exit poll today?
You know, I think BJP obviously has an edge. BJP has been able to stitch together a good alliance because it's not just the Bodo alliance that they've got, the BPF, from which has about out there, there are 12 seats. They should be able to get about 6+ out there. But they've also got actually the Tiwas and the Rabhas, which are other two tribes in Assam. And they've got a tribal face as a chief ministerial candidate. So that makes a lot of sense for BJP.
In a sense, they've stitched together what you would call a Mahagadbandhan in the context of Bihar. Got the AGP, got the BPF, their own party itself, as well as tribal groups. So it's a broader coalition than what the other side has.
It is. And there is a polarization. The polarization is not complete, but there is a polarization. It's quite deep. What they may lose out on is that if they don't get sufficient seats, and if the Congress and the BJP has more or less the same amount of seats, then the BPF and the AGP will not mind actually switching sides to the Congress. So that is
so the key is whether it gets a clear victory or not. I mean, both Ashok Malik, Manini, both of you said that Assam is the key for very different reasons, both for the Congress and the BJP. Does the BJP need a decisive victory in Assam? It's not going to be enough to emerge as the single largest party, Ashok. It has to win Assam.
Well, the BJP faces one big handicap, which Kishore alluded to, in that the AGP is a not as big a force as it used to be, and I think the AGP is the weak link in that coalition. If you really ask.
So it could become a Jitin Ram Majhi of. That's the fear that a section of the BJP has.
I mean, there is a view that the AGP got too many seats. Right. In this alliance, and the bulk of the AGP anyway moved to the BJP. But yes, the BJP does need to win decisively because this is its best opportunity. Assam, remember, is a 25-30-year investment for the BJP. It's not something which happened suddenly, but it's reached critical mass now. If it doesn't win this time, things may be difficult.
Manini, from a Congress perspective, there was one view within the Congress 6 months ago, tie up with Badruddin Ajmal's AIDUF. Let's have a grand alliance. There was one section of the Congress. Chief Minister Gogoi said nothing doing. We cannot tie up with Ajmal. It will only end up destroying our image for the future. Very different approach to what it took in Bihar, where it actually went with the smaller parties. Do you believe that?
No, but I think in Bihar it was different because Kishore would be in a better position. But when you have Assam after Kashmir is the highest Muslim population, 34%. Now two parties are Congress wants to be the secular Muslims option, and going with Ajmal would have sullied that image. But I think post-poll, if Assam does not give a decisive verdict, and if you have a hung assembly, there are all kinds of possibilities, including Ajmal and Congress, or even Ajmal AIDUF going with BJP.
But again, again, let's look at it in the larger picture. The BJP, we are talking both in the context of Kerala and in Assam. 10 years ago or 15 years ago, you certainly would not have spoken about the BJP in both these states. In Assam, they had started making gains, but they were never really seen as the principal player as they are being seen today. From a BJP perspective, even if they emerge single largest, they'll claim victory. It's their big victory in the northeast.
Rajdeep, having won half the seats in the Lok Sabha election in 2014 in Assam, I think the BJP looked at consolidating its hold, and if you look at its election strategy, the whole identity question and the whole Assamese question which they have raised, I think clearly aimed at striking that chord with the voter, and also look at their leadership. Their leadership is a leadership which has come to the party of late. be it their chief ministerial candidate or be it the leaders who have come from the Congress party to it.
But
So
what I found
it's a new
interesting,
BJP.
what I found interesting is Amit Shah, who had gone in a sense out on a limb in Bihar to actually, some say, play identity politics. In Assam was much more cautious. Even though from time to time he raised the question of immigration, it wasn't a strident campaign. He allowed local leaders to run the strident campaign. Did you get a sense that the BJP wanted to be much more inclusive in this election than one would have imagined them to be, even compared to 2014 Lok Sabha?
No, I think what BJP realized is that they didn't have to play the identity question. AIUDF was doing it for them. So actually AIUDF is actually set to lose much less. They got 18 seats last time. I don't think they would be going up.
So you see the
12.
Muslim vote consolidating around the Congress and the Hindu vote, upper Hindu Ahom vote.
No, so when you talk about Muslim votes in Assam, there's a clear distinction
between the Bengali Muslim vote and the Assamese Muslim vote.
Speaking Muslim vote, because the Assamese speaking Muslims are really divided. They would even go in Upper Assam. I'm told that they voted for the BJP as well, because they see that all the schemes and all the benefits that are coming via the Congress are going for so-called immigrant Muslims. So that is where where AIUDF is losing out, and the Congress is probably going to lose out as well.
Surjit, I'll bring you in a minute. Let me take one break, because this will be our final break before we start giving you all the numbers. Assam is one of the most complicated states, which is why Pradeep Gupta has a very difficult task. He has a unique methodology where he goes to every constituency. He's gone to every single constituency. So we're going to go to him and ask him his methodology, and then go straight to all the big numbers. We'll be starting with Assam and Bengal, because those are the two states where voting finished a couple of weeks ago. We'll be going to every single constituency and giving you the big picture. This is the India Today Axis My India exit poll. Details of the India Today Axis My India poll is about to come out. The exit poll for the 4 battleground states of 2016 and the Union Territory of Puducherry. Before I come to those poll results, I want to have a word here with Pradeep Gupta for the methodology. Pradeep, you got Bihar right, you got Delhi right. What is your methodology before I go to the big numbers?
Our methodology is very simple. Our team goes to each and every assembly constituency, do face-to-face interview.
Play shots.
We try and understand the voters' insight on various parameters.
Right.
Those parameters ultimately decide the anti-incumbency or otherwise pro-incumbency level in the state. And in the end, we ask whom they are going to vote. I mean, they, based on their anti-incumbency factor, satisfaction or dissatisfaction, voter decides their vote.
So you've gone to every constituency?
Yes, we do have, and the total numbers of assembly constituencies are 824 in these 5 states.
824 constituencies, and you've gone to each and every one of them.
And we met around 91,000 plus people.
91,000 people. Okay, Pradeep, it's your neck on the line. Remember, if you get it right, I take the credit. If you get it wrong, then you get the blame. That's the basic philosophy we work on exit polls. Let's turn to the big numbers. And I'm starting with the state of Assam, because the Chief Minister Tarun Gogoi is going to be joining me in a moment. And this is what the Assam Assembly looked like in 2011. The BJP plus had just 5. The Congress swept to victory, 78. The AGP had 10, and Badruddin Ajmal's AIUDF had 10. This was the position. The BPF, which is now an ally of the BJP, had 12. The Trinamool Congress 1, Independence 2. This is 2011. Take a look now. The first big numbers. What are we saying? What will happen in 2016? And this is our first vote projection. BJP plus 79 to 93 out of 126. Congress just 26 to 33. AIUDF 6 to 10. Others 1 to 4. Remember, halfway mark is 126. BJP needs 63 for a clear victory. We believe, along with their allies, they are getting 79 to 93. So the first big AGP, we should say, not AJP, as is coming on your flash. It's AGP, BJP combined that's getting a clear majority at the moment. Let's go straight across then to Tarun Gogoi. Mr. Gogoi, appreciate your joining us. The news that is coming, Mr. Gogoi, is not good for you. At the moment, as per our poll, sir, you are losing and losing badly. How do you respond?
I don't agree with all this exit poll, whatever conducted by your party. We have made our own assessment. And according to me, we will form the government. That is, still I am confident Today, tomorrow, and day after tomorrow also.
What is your best case scenario? You said you have done your own polls. How much are you expecting?
I say we will be able to form our ministry on my own strength.
You're saying you will form a government because the general feeling is your best case scenario was a becoming single largest party. As per our poll, even that's not happening. Are you willing to concede that this has been the toughest election you have fought, and this time 15 years of anti-incumbency is working against you, sir?
You see, every election is a tough election. No election you can take, whether easy or not. Even 2001, that was also toughest because we were in opposition. We were not in power in center. Even here, AGP was in power. They were also most popular party, no doubt about those days. Then it was backed by the NDA government. They had an alliance also. So every election is a tough election. Every election is a challenges. There's no doubt about it.
Sir, but you've got a huge
this election is
you've got a huge alliance this time against you. BJP, AGP, the Bodolands people front, they've all come up against you. They've got small tribal groups on their side. They did very well in the 2014 election, the BJP on their own. Did you get a sense somewhere, particularly in Upper Assam?
No.
In Upper Assam, the BJP was consolidating its vote in Upper Assam, the upper caste Hindu vote in particular.
You see, upper caste, they are not the majority. If you go by upper caste, then your assessment is wrong. Upper caste is a minority in Upper Assam. So
Right.
if upper caste, they are
Upper Hindu, Upper Assam
then,
Hindu vote. The Upper Assam Hindu vote by and large was going with the BJP. Would you
vote,
concede?
I don't agree. That I don't agree. The Upper Assam Hindu votes.
Right.
You see, Upper Assam, yes, we get the vote Upper Assam and the Lower Assam also. Not that. Last time Lower Assam, because the minority they got vote. And even 2001 also.
Sir,
AGP was there, BJP was there,
Our
GPF
survey-
was there.
Sir, our
Not
survey
that
is
they were
showing-
not there.
Our survey
You
is
see,
showing
they were
somewhere
there
that
in
even your
2001
vote is being
also.
split.
Not that this is the first time they had an all alliances. They were together.
But you are not worried about the fact that while the BJP consolidated its alliance, you chose not to fight with Badruddin Ajmal. There was a real fear of a division of vote among the Muslim vote in particular, and therefore the other side has the advantage purely in arithmetic terms. They are a stronger, wider alliance, and you are facing 15 years, sir, of anti-incumbency now. Our line's gone to the Chief Minister. I'm not surprised, given the numbers that are coming in. The Chief Minister apparently cannot hear us anymore. We'll try and go back to him. But Kishaloi, are you surprised with those numbers that we are giving? Such a big victory?
Slightly surprised, but not very. I mean, I would have thought that they would. I mean, like I said, that I was saying the BJP has an edge. BJP would get a simple majority. This looks like quite an overwhelming number. And I think the AIDF, like I mentioned, is the loser in this. Congress gained some of the AIDF votes, but again, the division in Muslim votes, the consolidation of tribal votes, and let's not forget, when I'm saying tribal, we are talking of Plains tribal as well, and BJP's chief ministerial face of being a tribal. I think that has helped.
Pradeep, what is your anti-incumbency index? You have plotted an anti-incumbency index. Right. How much is the anti-incumbency index in Assam?
See, it's like this. We go and ask the people the satisfaction level on 3 parameters: satisfaction, neutral, and dissatisfaction on various parameters, right? Road, electricity, water, health facilities, education, law and order situation, corruptions.
And what is it in Assam?
It's like pro-incumbency in favor of Congress ruling government, 30%. Otherwise, it's 70%, as high as 70%.
So 70% was the scale of the anti-incumbency. There's a high anti-incumbency index, as we are calling it. Interestingly, when we asked who is the most popular chief minister, and we'll put out those details, Tarun Gogoi didn't do too badly versus Sonowal. He was almost in the same race as Sonowal. But the fact is that when it comes to anti-incumbency, negative perception of the government, 15 years in power is a lot of time, Sandeep.
And Rajdeep, past survey research has shown that it takes a lot of people to say that we are unhappy with the government. And if the survey shows that it's as high as 70% of dissatisfaction, I think these numbers clearly reflect that dissatisfaction.
Yes, you said double anti-incumbency.
The two other points, very important point, is that after 1985, this is the first time that Assam voted with such a high percentage. And even in 85, it was demography was the factor that actually tilted. This time also demography is going to be the factor, identity in whatever way. That is one. The second is that Congress lost out on a lot of candidates because they gave out about 26 candidates, tickets to 26 candidates, either son, daughter, relatives, friends, whatever it is, and that really had a lot of infighting. And many of the Congress candidates who would have won shifted to BJP or Forest Congress.
You think if the Congress had been able to retain a Hemanta Biswa Sarma or leaders like that, they would have done better?
Slightly better. I'm not saying that they could have still, got this kind of, they wouldn't have replaced BJP in terms of numbers because the polarization was there. Hemanta Biswa Sarma was in Congress. Let's not forget during the Lok Sabha elections when Congress lost and BJP won most of the seats, 7 of the 14 seats in 2014. So Hemanta Biswa is not the magic, election.
Okay, let me just take a break because my producer says we should move to Bengal. Now that we are liberated of the figures of the Election Commission's rules clearly. We're going to take a quick break and then come back with the Bengal figures. We've given you the first big figures, which is Assam. Assam, the BJP, as per the India Today Axis APM poll, is set to create history, will win a clear majority along with its allies. That's the first big story that's coming out this evening. When we return, the next big story is Mamata Banerjee coming back. Exit poll result of ours, Assam is going with the BJP in a comprehensive victory. Let's turn to the next big state, the state of Bengal. What is happening in Bengal at the moment? Methodology, remember 294 parliamentary constituencies were surveyed in Bengal. So we've gone to every 294 assembly constituencies, we should say, 29,556 total sample size. So a very large sample size has been chosen in Bengal. 48 dedicated surveyors for the state of Bengal alone. April 5 to May 11 was when the field work was done. Remember, Bengal had a long 7-phase election. Let's then turn to the seat, to the votes and the seat share there in West Bengal. 2011, this is what happened. The TMC swept to power in tandem then with the Congress, 227 out of 294. Remember, the halfway you need 148 for a clear victory. Left had 62, BJP 3, others 2. Take a look at what is happening as per the Axis APM poll in My India poll in 2016. Trinamool Congress 233 to 253. This is humongous. 243, remember, halfway mark. Left plus is 38 to 51. The halfway mark is 44. Others 1 to 5. And the BJP 1 to 5, others 2 to 5. So the Trinamool Congress is heading for a landslide 3/4 victory in Bengal. This is almost out of even Mamata Banerjee's wildest dreams, that she's actually, as per this poll, doing even better than she did in the 2011 elections. This is a huge victory in a way for Mamata Banerjee if these election results hold. We'll be going to the Trinamool Congress and the Congress in a moment to get their first reactions to the poll. But let me get my studio. Manini Chatterjee, your first reactions to what we've just shown in Bengal?
Well, I think this is much more massive than anybody would have thought if these things come right. But the portions of Bengal that I visited, I went, in the southern Bengal, which is South 24 Parganas, Howrah, Hooghly. I'm not surprised by that, but what the general sort of wisdom at that time was that North Bengal has, gone
the traditional Congress base. The traditional Congress base, the left voter had switched hands and they would do well.
Central Bengal, which is Bankura, Birbhum, Purulia, Bardhaman, have where the Jyot is picking up seats. But where I went in rural Bengal, there was this, people were, especially as I said earlier, the poor, not the middle class, not the Bhadralok. The poor were very much still in thrall of TMC, because for several reasons which we can discuss once the results come out. But one of them, there's been a slight freebie culture too, for the first time in Bengal.
That's right. You've got free medicines. You're having free power,
and then bicycles and all kinds of things which the left front had not done. So I think that has had a huge impact. That may wear off in another 5 years. But what I sensed that what the Tamil Nadu kind of freebie culture had come to Bengal, and the poor were lapping it up.
Okay, yes, you want to make a point, Shurji, to the big. This is a landslide victory. When you look at these numbers, they suggest the kind of landslide that we've seen in certain other states. We saw it in Rajasthan in 2013. We've seen it in the past in Tamil Nadu. This is Bengal decimating, the decimation of a Congress left alliance, which in arithmetic terms is a pretty strong alliance.
You see, I think, look, this is exactly how the tail wags. When the tail begins to wag, this is in terms of voting. This is what happens in terms of the seats.
Please flash Bengal.
Look, I think the mistake that the Congress made, the mistake that Congress made and their strategists made was that, listen, we won in Bihar, and we won in Bihar because of math. All you got to do is to add up the votes together, and lo and behold, you will win. This is the big mistake.
So this time
this
it's
is
chemistry. It's chemistry. It's Mamta's chemistry that's defeating the left Congress arithmetic.
Chemistry always wins over math.
Oh no, we can always debate that. Whether chemistry, come on.
Okay.
Let's be clear. Chemistry can.
The larger story appearing here.
You believe chemistry has won this election?
No,
the chemistry that Mamta has.
No.
When you get 233,
Congress.
You believe it's anti-Congress.
Forget chemistry. Anti-Congress.
I'm not sure.
What we are seeing. Listen. Let's be real. What we are seeing in Assam, again with the caveat,
yes.
if the results hold up,
if we've got the if.
What we are seeing in Assam, in West Bengal, is the beginning of the end of Congress. People are voting against Congress.
Okay, hold on, Ashok and then Sandeep. Yes, quickly.
I don't think the Congress matters so much in Bengal. What we are seeing is the collapse of whatever remained of the left edifice in rural Bengal.
So you think it's the left actually which is taking the big hit? Okay, point taken. Yes, Professor Shastri.
I think we should focus on the right chemistry.
Yes.
The chemistry is not with regard to Mamta, but the chemistry is the failure of the left Congress chemistry.
Yeah.
That's what has really contributed to if this result holds good. And I think very clearly.
No, let's be clear. Even if they were fighting on their own, they would struggle.
It would be much worse.
It would be even worse. So to that extent, I would say it's the chemistry of Mamta Banerjee that is winning this election.
No, I
what
just
the
want to
point
relate
is, in rural Bengal, Mamta Banerjee is preferred option to the left, which was the traditional vote of the.
In fact, there's been a switch of many who voted for the left traditionally.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. So the TMC has taken over the entire left vote. The Congress vote has collapsed. Is that coming, Pradeep? Clearly, the anti-incumbency. What is your incumbency factor here?
Here, the pro-incumbency 65% in favor of TMC.
Mamta. 65% is pro-incumbency. So 5 years into power, Mamta Banerjee still retains a lot of goodwill.
One minor point. It's not just the poor. Okay, at least in terms of my visit there, as well as reading, as well as trying to analyze, this idea that the poor are voting for Mamta and the poor are larger in number, this is not indicative that it is just the poor.
Also,
it's the poor, it's the emerging middle class, and it is the middle
also,
class.
Rajdeep, I think our figures show that there is some matter of concern for the BJP also. Having won 4 seats in the Lok Sabha elections, the band which is being shown in this assembly elections is also upper limit is 4. So in that sense, what BJP thought they could cash in on the goodwill of the Lok Sabha election does not seem to be coming out.
If I could ask a question there, do we have any idea of what the vote percentages may be? Because I'll tell you why.
We do have vote percentage. What are the rough vote percentages, Pradeep?
Because either the BJP is being a spoiler or
we can give you that.
51% in favor of TMC and left plus Congress alliance together 29%, BJP 10% and others 10%.
So BJP 10% is not bad, but obviously it didn't matter at all in front of.
No, but the fact is that is emerging. That Mamta Banerjee has, many thought that Mamta, because of corruption, because corruption scandals hurting her ministry, it isn't as if great governance has been provided, but basic facilities like water and power and roads, Mamta hasn't done too bad.
And GDP, basic growth.
Yeah, no, I'm just wondering, there's no employment, there's no great employment.
But there's no great employment anyway.
My point is, what is Mamta's secret formula? If you are winning 233 to 253, you believe it's an anti. You believe it's an anti-vote.
Providing growth.
A kinder, gentler, less arrogant left.
No, yes, I would think that what was in favor of Mamta is basically there wasn't any option. There wasn't. The left Congress did not look like.
The left has not recovered from its defeat, and Mamta has emerged as more left than the left.
Mamta has emerged as a kinder, gentler, less arrogant left.
Okay, one by one, on this channel we have decided consciously we are going to try and avoid making noise because viewers get switch off when there is too much of noise, we believe. But the point I want to understand, this incumbency factor you're saying is 65% pro-incumbency. In the case of Assam, it was a 70% negative incumbency. Is that the basic point you're looking for when you're, because most people are going to, and Pradeep, if you showed, when you showed me the numbers this morning, I said 243 median range, aren't you giving too much? Are you one of those who believe, like you did in Bihar or Delhi, कि अगर कोई जीत रहा है तो छप्पड़ फाड़ के जीत रहा है? Might as well give the person 25-30 more.
Let me tell you one more thing. We were talking about the chemistry in Bihar versus in West Bengal. See, in Bihar they got alliance with the ruling party, number one. The person or the party who has delivered in the past.
Yes.
And here they have aligned with the losing side, and being the Congress image, overall image in West Bengal as well as in the country. I mean, two losers cannot find.
No, I'm just trying to understand. If you translated even her spectacular success in the 2014 Lok Sabha elections, it doesn't come to this kind of number. Since then, the left and Congress have come together, which is why I would have thought that there would be a stronger fight. Either it appears that the left's decline is so precipitate in Bengal that it's going to take another 5-10 years before it recovers. And some said the Bengalis need at least 10 years before they decide to change.
Yeah.
If it recovers.
If the feeling is Bengal, unlike a Kerala, likes
it's exactly
to change.
the opposite, in fact.
Do you believe that she has these 5 more years to prove herself? That's what the voter is telling her.
Definitely. You know, what I found in Bengal, why it's so different from Kerala, even in terms of the left, when the left dominated Bengal, rural Bengal, it was complete domination. It's what, you know, traditional area domination. There is no second party. Exactly the same is happening. The TMC has more or less copy-pasted the left formula, the template. And now the same people in village after village, they have said, we used to be with the left, amra bam from Chilam, akun amra TMC. You know, we don't have a concept of an opposition party. So the hegemonizing role of the left has actually been sort of appropriated by the TMC in 5 years.
It's interesting, this despite all the criticism that Mamta has had to face. I'm just wondering then, what does it say? Is it an election without options? Because even if I didn't want to vote for Mamta, who do I vote for? Do I go? The left Congress had no face. Let's be clear, no clear chief ministerial face.
And it was far too late in the day. It was far too late in the day.
In fact, if we look at the numbers of chief ministerial candidates, Buddhadev Bhattacharya is actually doing even better than Shujokanda Mishra. What does that show? Yeah. What does that show about the left today, Ashok?
You see, Buddhadev Bhattacharya remains the most popular leader in the CPM. Unfortunately, for key demographic groups in Bengal, including, for instance, Muslims, he is not really much seen as a favorite. And that is a fact of life. Bengal has seen such big mandates earlier, for the left primarily. Yeah. The left used to routinely win 220, 230 seats, reduce the Congress to 40 seats. Also, the BJP has not completely collapsed. The BJP's got 10%, which is more than I expected, to be honest. Maybe, just maybe, has been a spoiler for the opposition in some constituencies, because that helped Mamta sweep to 34 seats in 2014, where the BJP cut into the opposition.
Can I just put these two numbers? Because the two states that we've given so far, Assam and Bengal, and just contrast the two. In Assam, a government in power for 15 years, and these are our numbers for Assam. BJP making a major breakthrough in the state of Assam as per our survey. Clearly emerging as the dominant party, and even on its own, as per our survey, BJP is slated to get 56 to 65 seats, but the AGP getting 13 to 16 and the BPF 10 to 12 add to 79 to 93. So you've got one state where 15 years of anti-incumbency seems to be resulting in a shift. You've got another state where 5 years is perhaps not seen as enough for any anti-incumbency to build up, and there is a pro-incumbency factor that seems to be benefiting Mamta, at least in rural Bengal. I mean, are we looking therefore at a cyclical phase where it takes in certain states 10 to 15 years before any kind of anti-incumbency actually sets in? Look, I mean, the left ruled Bengal for 30 years.
I think context matters here, Arshdeep. I think context matters here, Arshdeep. There are states like Karnataka and Kerala where after 5 years people change the ruling party. Exactly. In West Bengal, I think what has happened is to the advantage of Mamta is the forces ranged against her have not been able to come together to be able to capitalize on any limitations of 5 years in governance. And let's also remember, this government has come to power after many years of left rule. So for that disenchantment with the existing government to come in, I think it requires a little more time. Voters are giving a little more time to the existing government to be able to deliver on the promises it has made.
Where does this leave in the context of Assam? I mean, there are politicians who've just SMSed me saying we are ready to bet that your figures are wrong in Assam. That in Assam it's going to be a close run. And these are senior politicians. Kishore, is there any chance you believe of anything else happening in Assam other than a BJP comprehensive win? Is there a possibility of that hung assembly that Congress keeps talking of? Or are they clutching at straws?
I mean, if these numbers are not correct, and like I said, that if BJP and Congress figures are more or less at the same level, then there could be a shift from the BPF and AGP. And let me tell you that even before I came into the studio, I spoke to the AIUDF insiders and the communication guy. He said that there is a lesser chance of us, going into an alliance with BJP, but we are not ruling out alliances. Yeah. And it's actually Tarun Gogoi's personal ego that has actually stopped the AIUDF Congress alliance, but because otherwise that alliance could be cobbled up and they could form a government. So that possibility is always there if we are not talking of 79, if we are talking about a 50-50.
Yeah. Pradeep, out of the two states, which one are you more confident of?
I am confident both the states.
No, because I get very worried with exit pollsters.
No, I don't think so.
You're completely confident.
I am very much confident. Few seats may be here and there, otherwise no issues at all.
So you believe that both these states are throwing up clear verdicts?
100%.
There is no uncertainty in the voters' mind.
Not at all.
Yes, sir.
I want to, while discussing Assam and West Bengal and the anti-incumbency, first, statistically, if you are a first-time incumbent, as Mamta was, you stand to lose only about 1.5% of the vote. Second, if you are a fourth-time incumbent, you tend to lose 3 to 4 percentage points. So let's not be, what Tarun Gogoi was fighting was history. This has not happened before. So I don't know where the people who went there said that he had a chance. I mean, historically, he would have to be a Superman in order to win Assam. So let's not be completely unfair to him. He won 3 times in a row. Fourth time has not happened.
It appears.
It appears.
Yes.
It appears it hasn't happened. It's not so much a defeat for the Congress, if you will, in Assam, though it is a pointer, I think, to things to come. This one, with the complete, if it is accurate, with the complete decimation of both the left and the Congress, is a sign of the future.
Okay, let me then take a break. I think Surjit has decided that he's got a narrative. The decimation of the Congress has begun. He's written about it this morning. He believes these numbers have only strengthened his argument. Let me take a break. When we return, we are turning to the state that is a nightmare for any cephalogist. We are turning to the big state of Tamil Nadu and also the state with the tightest battle in every election, Kerala.